Hey everybody, welcome back to another Manor Lords episode. So today we are at October, for the month of October. We have our field, it is currently fallow. We are currently building our farmhouse, as you recall, and we are right now sitting at 2 months of surplus food. I really think we should actually be a little bit more aggressive on the food front. Unfortunately, with the hunting limit being set at 10, somehow it crept down below that amount. So we have less wild animals than we can even hunt at the moment. We could just hunt all of them, obviously, but we don't want to lose them as a source. The other problem is we have our berries so far away. We can try to build an outpost, but I doubt by the time it gets there that it'll be ready to go. I mean, we could just try to build something right now just to have the fortress hut. And we can make a road that goes all the way there. That'll be nice and easy. Make sure that everyone gets access to it somehow here. This road runs all the way to our little village here. Now, we're getting close to winter, and like I mentioned before, winter doesn't take double food, but it does take double firewood. And although we have 9 months of fuel, I'm still a little bit worried about that food situation. I really think we are kind of in a pickle with that one, because we're not going to get this. This is definitely not going to be built in time, unfortunately, or on time. I don't know, in time, I guess actually is the more appropriate terminology here. But we are we're working against time essentially, because soon we're gonna run out of food and people might start starving. Some people might even die from starvation. I mean, we don't know quite yet, but I can try to get this trade post going here. And let's see, why don't we trade for meat? Let's import. Let's have a surplus of, like, I don't know, 15. I mean, the import price is awful. 12 to import, and it's really going to hurt us. We need to figure out something that we can sell, however, because we're going to be running out money really quick. Let's set this down to 20. When I set the planks to 20, I can export to that amount, so it'll sell 40. It'll give us 80 regional wealth, unfortunately, which is not enough at all to get much of anything out of this. Well, we could sell, we could buy 6 meat at 12 regional wealth a pop, which is not very good, obviously, for us. We have this deep mine here, or not deep mine, but a mining pit. We could start having someone work there, and then we can try working on selling iron ore. And let's keep 15 of it so that we can have our smelters working and we can export iron slabs. And we'll just keep that at 0 right now so we could sell all of our stuff. But yeah, there's been a few changes since we last saw each other. So the developer, the singular developer, has put out an update and made a little bit of changes here so we can allow market stall setups if we want to from this location, or we can make it so they can't. That way we could, you know, control what we put in our marketplace and what we sell in that regard. Now, another couple changes they made was they made it linear again on the trade interface here. They made this linear again. So for instance, in my other save, I had one trade route was like 38,000 regional wealth, which would we would never reach it ever. At least not right now. It was never going to happen. And in fact, I had almost no money at all in that treasury, unfortunately, but yeah, so they made a couple changes there. They fixed some bugs. They're doing a bunch of little fixes here and there. Again, it's a single person, so thankfully, we're not worried about too much right now because this is the experimental build. But you know, there are some things that kind of mess around with how the game plays, and thankfully the bug fixes, it looks like he's been able to fix quite a few that have improved the gameplay overall. I'm gonna speed this up just a little bit here. Now, our next course of action, aside from obviously getting this bad boy built over here. Look at that, we're running out of food already. So aside from this here, we need to figure out a means of setting up a militia. Now we should have enough people if I'm not mistaken. No, we don't. We still need two more people here. So perhaps it might be in our interest to build some more housing space if we're able to, so that we can, well, not only get this stuff going a little bit quicker, we can get our building up a little bit faster, having more families being able to build, etc. But we really want those people so we could start going after the bandit camps, because the bandit camps are just going to steal food and everything from us, which is why we're in this predicament currently with only 1 month of food remaining. We unfortunately are stuck in this point because they've robbed us of our food, and they actually robbed us of hides as well. So that hurt pretty much, as best as it could. Now we don't have any hides currently. I believe we're selling. Yeah, we are exporting leather, of which we have none of, because those bastards stole our hides, so we have nothing to make with. Kind of in a pickle. Kind of in a pickle. A little bit worried. I can't do anything with this field. Even if I were to turn it, like when the field was, or rather when this is ready, even though it's, well, now it's not, it literally just changed to November.
Heavier than it looks.
There's no way we can get wheat going right now, so we're going to be kind of stuck here without having any means of making any grain or anything really. And in fact, someone just moved in, so now we have another mouth to feed. However, we did just finish the forager hut, which hopefully we have 3 people available. We're going to send 2 people right now. We're going to hope for the best that this family can get here on time before winter actually hits, and, you know, get us these berries coming in, because we desperately need food. So what we're going to do here is we're going to meet up at that point. We're going to give time a little bit of a go here, and we'll see where we stand in that regard. And hopefully I'll be talking to you guys without anyone starving to death. See you guys in a second. All right, so we are back. It is just slightly later within the month, and our awesome little, there it is, our awesome little berry hut, forager hut, whatever you want to call it. They have done a rather efficient job of collecting berries. In fact, they've gotten quite a bit, and we are now with a surplus of 21 berries. Not too bad. Now we shouldn't have to worry about winter too much, thankfully. Hopefully they can get more berries before winter does come in. Now that does mean we are in need of more people, so that we can actually start expanding into making, you know, bread and whatnot with our little farm here. So why don't we explore adding some more space? Now, I'm thinking we could probably, yeah, let's just do this real quick. So we can still have buildings here, obviously. Stretch that out. No, we can't. Never mind, it's too steep. Forgot, that's why we stopped there. Hello. All right. Weird angle there. Why don't we try, let's do this first. So that'll show us a little road. Perfect. There we are. All right, cool. This surrounds this little plot of land with all these burgages, and we can add some more in here now. And I think what I'm going to do,
Whoa, this is heavier than it looks.
if I do that, I get 2 of them there. That's perfect. And then we can add just a little bit more here. More than enough homes. More than enough now. Well, it won't be enough. Eventually it will not be enough, at least. But for now, more than enough. So we need to build these up. So now we can safely bring in more people into our village now that we have the surplus of food. From what I've gathered, no pun intended, but from what I've gathered, it's best to kind of try to keep things as balanced as possible while trying to achieve a higher surplus. Just so you can always accommodate expansion, but try not to, well, obviously try not to overdo it. One thing I learned pretty severely in my original playthrough of this game is that starvation really can ruin your village. Beyond just, obviously, people dying, the approval going down, people leaving, etc. Stuff like that, unfortunately, can really bite you. All right, well, while we're waiting here, so we have, let's see, you can see it on here. So we finally have 20 people. So why don't we just create this unit here now? So these people stay in their village when I have not called them up. They won't just immediately sit in, you know, in a queue waiting. They'll be villagers. They'll be part of families, etc. I mean, they're just like normal everyday people living in the village. I can call them up as the militia if need be, which I am very, very, very... Whoa, game. There you go. That was a little freak out there. I'm very compelled to send them over here and wipe out this bandit camp. I'm not sure how many outlaws there are, but they could very well lose. And that's what I don't want. I don't want 20 able-bodied men to just die. That's not good for your village. I'll tell you that for sure. But you know what? We're gonna try it. So the militia's gathering, getting ready. So to me, this is like almost like Total War. This little aspect of the game. It's like a little pseudo Total War, not nearly as complicated. The tactics are not at all as complicated as Total War, obviously. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them, let's see, which one is closer? Yeah, this one is closer. I'm going to send them here. Let's have them double line. They're going to be walking because I don't want them to waste energy, so I am going to speed up time times 3, which is still going to take quite some time for them to show up. As you can see, this is the fastest speed. If they're walking, this is how fast they go. And again, I don't want them to be exhausted. That'll keep cohesion up. It keeps up the effectiveness. The effectiveness right now is only 88%. It looks like it's directly correlated to how, like, whatever positive or negative not multipliers, but modifiers there are against your units. All right, so they've made it here where I told them to go. So now we're in real time. So they sent 16 units, and of course, did you see that? They stole stuff from us. But if I double click, so right now they're on a balanced stance. I can actually tell them to push forward, and it'll start overwhelming. At least that's the goal, is to start overwhelming their force. They've just lost 3 people now. Now here's what's really unique and cool about this game. Oh no, it sent me back here. It sent me so far away. Oh, that's too bad. We're going back here. I'm just going to watch this happen from this vantage point. They've given up. We lost 1 person, which is unfortunate, but... Alright, so now I believe we can just go here. Advance! I'm going to tell them to... Well, I guess they can't run.
Be ready.
Come on, guys. Let's go. So losing one guy is actually not too bad at all. It's actually pretty good, to be honest. But it helps us get hopefully some kind of influence after we get rid of this bandit camp. That's the one thing that really sucks, is trying to get as much influence as you can. Oh, we were just right here. That's funny. But it's hard to get influence early on. At least from what I've noticed, it's hard to get influence early on. And it could be just because I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. When searching through the enemy belongings, you find a stash of goods. They could be sent to your people, who will surely need them, though it is your right to keep it. Yeah, send it to the nearest town. I don't need it in my treasury. Okay, cool. So we got regional wealth out of that. That's pretty much it. So we do have one more bandit camp, of which you can see here, they've already sent their units. So I'm going to have them face our units. And now this time I can go in here. Though I just realized they're on running mode. I don't want them to run. I want them to walk for sure. Okay. Now let me catch up with my units here. So this is what I find to be one of the coolest things in a game like this that I've seen in a long time. Let me be very clear. First off, this is still a work in progress. Second, there is no interaction that I'm aware of between your... I'm going to call it an avatar because it's not even your character. It doesn't match your character so far as I'm aware. But you have no customization. But all of that being said, this is still just like exciting. This is really cool to see. See it up close like this. So I just realized that... Where's this battle? Where did it take me? In the world? It put me all the way in a completely different area. I have to tell my guys to push forward. If they don't push forward, they're not going to win this fight as well as I'd like them to. Seems that spear units do pretty well against stuff like this. This is just obviously just brigands, bandits, outlaws, etc. They're not organized, very low equipment rating, stuff like that. And you can increase the equipment, as I talked about in the last video. With the military route, you can increase the equipment quality of your units, etc., which is really, really cool. But once I start getting retinues, that's where it's at. Retinues are definitely the most important type of unit you can get, aside from mercenaries. I mean, I guess if you want to work on technicalities, a mercenary unit is much more useful, at least right now in the game, than any other type of unit. And the only reason is because you can keep your units at home. Then you don't need to bring out your units to fight, lose men, lose capabilities because you lost men, etc. Alright, boys. We're gonna send to the nearest town. We're gonna get more regional wealth. It's what we need. Okay, so now I can't disband in territories that are not mine. So I have to go back to at least here in order for them to
fight as you are.
Be disbanded. I am going to tell them to run now because now I don't. There we go. Now I don't care about how much fatigue they have because they're just going to disband. Pretty straightforward and easy. All right. They should be walking into my territory right now. Okay, we're in the home region. Why can't I disband? Oh, that's a weird bug. All right, anyway. Well, there you go. So that was combat in the game. Pretty straightforward. Not too difficult. Now, obviously, once we start mixing in other types of units and actual, fighting units, not brigands, etc., then it's a much different gameplay, I think, in my opinion, at least. Because you're going to have heavily armored units, etc., especially with the mercenaries and whatnot, so. Yeah, it looks like we just need to complete these homes here. We've already got these 2 completed. We have enough space for 12 currently. We've got 6 more units being built, or burgages. So 6 more families on top of that can move in. And that'll put us at a pretty awesome circumstance there, because we'll have the ability to put people on the farmhouse. We can get the saw pit. Or no, the saw pit is running. Where is it? The tannery? No, the tannery's running now too. Well, more traders, that's for sure. In fact, no, I can't do it yet because I have a builder. But the berry people, they should have at least been able to get through most of it before this went down, so I'm hoping that's the case. It looks like it's the case. I mean, they got plenty of berries and meat now. But we'll see. It looks like we actually sold some stuff too. Very nice. That's what I like to see, is our wealth growing. Okay, everyone, so it is now March. We are heading towards spring. We have people moving in. We have enough room for 5 more families, though they haven't moved in just yet, but our positive rating here for our approval is good. It's a low population growth, but it's a growth nonetheless. Now, we are making a decent amount of regional wealth, thankfully, from our trade. And on top of that, we are in a position to start considering our farming. So why don't we get let's do 3 families working on the farm right now. We always need at least 1 to build, obviously, as I've mentioned that before. But 3 people working on the farm, I think, makes the most sense. Let's try to, not sure when the next season will show up here. Guess we'll find out. The other thing we're looking at now is raiders are near. So down here at the bottom left, kind of hard to see. This might be a UI element that needs a little bit of an update eventually, because for me at least it's hard to see. Now it says 360, that's the amount of days I have remaining before this attack comes in. However, it looks like our rival, or at least the other person here that owns land, has hired some brigands himself. I'm not sure where they're heading toward, to be honest. They could very well be going down to take out the bandit camp down here. I frankly don't know. I don't know where they're going. Maybe it'll show me eventually. The problem with that is that he's going to get influence really quick because of it. And he knows exactly where they are, so far as I'm aware, versus me not being able to see whatever enemy he's walking towards at all whatsoever, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. There is another bandit. There's a couple bandit camps remaining, actually, if I float you on over here. There's this guy here. And let's see, right down over here. So these 2 bandit camps, they've already robbed me. As you can see up here, they took 12 firewood and 14 of my leather, which really sucked because I was getting ready to sell all that leather, excuse me, for obviously for some regional wealth, but now we're kind of out of it. So what I've gone ahead and started is a bloomery here. I'm still waiting for them to actually build it, which is taking a while, unfortunately. But I also need to work on getting up my, my housing here to level 2. So I need to get a church. We satisfy all the other needs currently, but we just don't have that church. So let's throw this out there as well. Let's see, maybe doesn't fit there because there's no road. Can we make it work here? And we can. And yeah, let's put it right there. I think that looks the best. That'll be fine. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit sloped like that or not. It'll be totally fine. Plus, the church will be right at the... I mean, this will eventually be the... Well, I guess not, because this is cliff face here, but... It's kind of the center of town-ish. Something like that, but... But yeah, I mean, this is kind of like the slow going at the beginning from what I've noticed of the game. But once we get the church level up, we can start building tier 2 burgages here. Then I can actually start getting the blacksmith going so we can make more armor and obviously tailors for any, if I say army for weapons, I meant weapons. More weapons, and then tailors can make armor, at least for the onset. And then we can work on, you know, whatever else we need there. But if I go back to my military tab, you can see I've lost 2 people in fighting thus far, and I lose their weapon and shield. Like, it's gone. I don't have it anymore. So when you lose a unit, you lose the items that were associated with them. Now I have the potential to have 25 militiamen currently, but I can only sustain 18 because I only have the 18 spears and the 18 shields, as you can see down here, unfortunately. And if you hit tab, you can also see this stuff here. That's pretty cool. You can see their attack, their armor, their impaling, whatever that might be. I mean, I know what impaling is, but I don't know how the mechanic works in the game. So, we just need to get things built and get to tier 2, and then we can be much more defensively oriented and start moving towards these bandit camps without, I mean, we have to worry about losing people every time we fight, but without worrying about losing the items, since we could just make more. So that's what we got to work on next. And yeah, let's meet back up when we're able to get the church finished. All right, folks, so we aren't quite done with the church just yet. I got it on normal speed right now. We got all the materials, well, aside from the stone in, but we just need to build it up from there. But I wanted to bring you guys in because we are looking at a region being claimed by Waldbrand is the region. It's being claimed by the Baron. Now here's the annoying thing. He destroyed only 1 camp. He hasn't even destroyed the second one yet. And he already has enough influence to claim a region. I've destroyed 2 camps myself, and I have 640 influence out of that. So I'm not sure why there is that disparity there, but he's about to claim the second one here, so he'll have plenty of influence himself. But it must be nice to be able to hire brigands out immediately. I mean, the Baron has an advantage above and beyond you right off the bat when it comes to influence and claiming and whatnot. Here's the thing, it right now doesn't really matter. There will be a point in time where I'm going to be generating influence like crazy. I'm going to be generating income with the treasury like crazy, and I'll be able to hire all the mercenaries. I'll be able to sweep in and take all of his land right now. And by right now, I don't mean literally right now as I stand in the game. I mean right now as how the game is developed. So it's not that much of a detriment. It's just kind of annoying because then if he claims a piece of land that you want, I can say resolve the claim on the battlefield. The problem is he can hire all the mercenaries. I only have my 18 guys, no treasury whatsoever. I can't hire anything. He gets it. That's a change that needs to be done because this is not fun. As it stands right now, this early in the game, this is not fun. There's nothing for me to do. He gets the region. He gets it. I'm not going to be able to create all the arms and armor and all the men that I need to build enough units to counter him. It's just not going to happen. So he's going to get this region no matter what. I'm hoping that I'll somehow be able to get more influence here shortly so that I can go straight for, I'm probably just going to go with this one next. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do, but it's probably going to be this one. Ideally, I want this one. I guarantee you this will be his next choice. Then he'll control literally both the richest crop growing zones in the game. So it is what it is, but here we are back at the village. Just wanted to point that out, but yeah, we just need to get this church finished and I'll get that done here shortly. Alrighty folks, so we have our first level 2 burgage. So we can finally start considering our options for all the extra little workshops we can do. So right now we're locked out of bakeries because we haven't gone the farming tree. We're locked out of armorers because we haven't gone the military tree. We're locked out of apples again because we haven't done the farming tree. But we do have access to all these other ones here. Now, right now, our best bet is starting with the blacksmith workshop. We definitely want to get that going, and then the tailor's workshop for gambesons, which is armor for these soldiers as well. We also need a joiner's workshop for shields. So why don't we get started on the blacksmith workshop? Then we just need to get this guy upgraded. We just need more logs. That's essentially it. That's where we're sitting. But my next goal is to do the joiner's workshop, and then we'll do the tailoring workshop afterward. So long as we have weapons and shields coming in, we're good. We can bring in people into our militia units, but it is advisable to get the gambesons at least for your units so that they have some kind of armor to work with, because they're very, very weak otherwise. And they'll die pretty quickly to mercenaries, because mercenaries come fully equipped. They're good to go when you bring them in. They're not heavily equipped. They're like medium equipped, but still they're still very useful. All right, so the next thing we need to consider as well is, we can't do it quite yet just because we're out of the stone and the logs at the moment, but we need to make our manor so that we can start bringing in tax income, and so we can start getting let me do that, so we can start getting a retinue as well. A retinue will be very, very important, as I've stated before. Now, ideally, we're going to want to use mercenaries for the most part, but a retinue is a very good line of defense because it's something you can control in terms of their equipment and whatnot. Once you have a big treasury, like in my other playthrough, my treasury was huge. I think it had like 27,000 wealth in my treasury, and it's really hard to spend because a lot of things in the game aren't, ready to go. It's still being developed. So the big thing about that, at least with how it pertains to retinues, is with the retinues, you can upgrade every individual unit's armor. As soon as you see that retinue, it'll make a lot more sense, and I'll show you guys too how that works. But for the time being, we're kind of looking at, where do we want to bring this village? Like, how do we really want this village to be, mapped out? I'm still thinking it's probably going to be smart to, obviously get the deep mining first off, but maybe stick with the military tree overall, merely because although I in my mind and my gut, I'm wanting to do a farming community. The problem with that is this area is just not conducive to it. And the areas that are conducive to it in this region, it's too few and far between. It's really just not much. In fact, I don't know if you guys recall, but I believe this has changed. Wasn't this a double positive? Maybe the update changed it a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, it's not nearly as fertile as before, but I mean, we're surrounded by crap fertility altogether. So making a farming village is really not beneficial for us. It's not going to work out. In fact, look at barley. They're triple negative rate around this area. Very, very bad. So we got to be very mindful that food is always going to be an issue. That's what compels me to want to be a farming community, but it's just not worth it. We're not prepared for it. Now, what we can do is, once we're able to take over one of these regions, we can designate this region as a means of farming and trading with our other regions, food and whatnot, so everyone can stay alive. We want everyone to stay alive, obviously. We want everyone to stay alive, but yeah, let's meet back up once we're able to get a little bit more of the armor and the the other goods going here. I'll see you guys here in a moment. All right, guys, I've gone ahead and bit the bullet because a new bandit camp did pop up here, and I don't want my rival here, my adversary, the Baron, from taking over another region so soon. So I'm gonna wipe out these brigands right now. Unfortunately, there's a new bug that's popped up, and as you can see here, I'm at half fatigue. Well, in fact, it's at 43% fatigue. So what ended up happening was I got my units out. I had them run down here, and I noticed that the fatigue bar wasn't going down. I was like, oh, okay, so they're good to go. I guess there's some weird new fix or something like that. No, it just didn't update. I had to turn off run to positions, and then it went and it took away obviously more than half. So unfortunately we're stuck there, but I think these units should still be pretty effective regardless of that fact. In fact, let's run in. And now I think we can see it. Here we go. Yeah. See, this is so cool. This is such a cool upfront look at a battle. Very good idea by the developer. This is really fun. I mean, you're not doing anything, you're just watching. But this is just a different perspective. For someone like myself who's been gaming for as long as I have, seeing this is so just cool. Now, could you zoom in on Total War? Yeah, you could. You could zoom in on most games like this where you have, you know, a unit of soldiers going after another unit of soldiers, but not like this. Not that I remember, at least. Nothing like this. This is definitely a unique perspective. At least I feel like it is. It's very cool. Look at that. And they gave up. We lost one person. Not too bad, guys. Now we're not going to run the position here. Just going to take that. Going to fast forward. We'll take that wealth. Send those resources to the nearest town, which gives us 100 regional wealth. Perfect. So, are there any other bandit camps? No, there are not. So he just wasted his money. Not granted, he probably has unlimited resources, but he did hire actual mercenaries. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is what the mercenary armies look like. Let's see if we can zoom in. See, they are better armored. This is not heavy armor. This is medium armor, but they are better armored. They have helmets. They are much more organized, and they are larger units. 36 per unit versus 18, which is what you get with brigands. And they also have archers, of course, as well. So, yeah, we'd be very hard pressed to try to actually attack him. He definitely is going to win any battle in that regard until we're able to do what we need to do. Let's get our boys back home here. Tell them to head back to the region. Let's go right there.
Advance!
And we'll let them head back. But hey, we're that much closer. We're at 960 influence now. If we are able to get another bandit camp, we'll be able to easily take over, or at least make a claim on a region that is uninhabited by either us or the Baron. Let's see if we're able to make another one. Perfect, we are. So this is going to be our next burgage that we're upgrading here. We need to make a joiner so we can make shields. If you want to take a look here, actually let's go here. It's a little bit easier. Notice I have 8 spears finally. No shields yet, obviously, as we've already discussed, but my next goal is to basically get as many spears as I can and then start making sidearms so we can get a militia footman unit here, because I think they do a little bit better with dealing with more up-close battles. They can be in a much more defensive posture than the spearmen can. The spearmen are seriously useful, but I prefer to have militia footmen as my front line unit, and then I like to flank. You probably can't see that. I like to flank around with the spearmen and have them hit from behind. It does very effective damage. A very effective tactic. And the AI doesn't use tactics very well, to be honest here. The AI is pretty easy to defeat, so for now. They will very likely make a more advanced AI at some point, but for now it's a pretty easy thing to defeat. But at least we're finally getting these tier 2s in. If we get one more tier 2, I believe, yeah, that'll give us another little development point here that we can use. I'm curious if I'll be able to pull off, I probably will. The mining pit will not disappear before I'm able to get deep mining if I go basic armor making. I'm at a toss-up. I don't know if I want to do basic armor making first or if I want to do deep mining first. It'd be nice to have just that perpetual deep mine always giving me iron ore. It'll never run out. But it's also nice to get the armor making going. But the thing is, it only starts with helmets. So I don't want to make a whole crap load of helmets and not be able to get rid of them. So there is that as well. But notice here now, we're starting to see homes wanting these goods, gambesons and helmets. I'm not 100% sure if this is congruent with the militia or the retinue or both. I'm not 100% sure. And I know the retinue leaves the manor typically, so I'm also not sure whether or not the retinue is not affected by villagers. I believe there's a mechanic that they're going to introduce with retinues that allows you to pull villagers in, and maybe that will make a difference at that point, but it's not available in early access yet. You can't hire your villagers to be part of your retinue, unfortunately. All right, well, it looks like we're capped out on the housing space. Let's see where else we can expand. One thing I don't want to do is expand in an area where we're cutting trees down, because it will just take the trees out. So we're going to have to kind of finagle this slightly. Let's see, can we do something like this? No, it doesn't look like that, unfortunately. That's a bit funky. Look at that. Alright. It's weird, but it works. Gives us the space that we're looking for, so let's get some more homes built. We're definitely good on the food front, it looks like. 3 months. Oh, look at that. 7th level increase. Perfect. Let's do... Actually, let's do this. Will this work? Yes. Perfect. Alright, guys. So, let's make our decision here. We could do basic armor making and get this started, or we could do a deep mining selection here and have infinite resources from mines. What does it take to get to the next level? 3 more burgage plots? That's fine. All right, we'll do the deep mine for now. We'll just get that started and going. That way we know it's there. It's ready. And we need these level 2 burgage plots anyway. So it takes 50 wealth and 10 planks, I think is what that said. We are building the new homes. This household has suffered a recent loss and will not grow until the morning has ended. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. So that must have been the household of the soldier that we lost recently. Sorry, guys. That makes me feel bad. I feel bad. That's awful. Oh, there's more mourning. Oh no, that's the same people. Okay. Man. Sorry, guys. Caucasian country. All right, so as you can see, we're growing. We're getting there. I really want to end the video on a high note, so I'm thinking that we're gonna try, if I can orient myself here, get these guys disbanded here. We're gonna try to go for a region here. I'm just not sure how we're gonna achieve that without any bandit camps to destroy. Hopefully one pops up for us. Otherwise we have to wait until we can build the manor, which we need stone for. So let's bring some stone in. Let's import, we just need 10. It's going to cost us a pretty penny, unfortunately. Though we immediately got 6. That's good. Thankfully, though, our regional wealth is pretty healthy. I'm not sure if trade routes are entirely fixed, not in terms of the cost, but like how they function. Because it seems to be like the more trade routes you have, the worse it starts to work. So we'll see how that works out, but I feel comfortable with how trading is working right now for us because we have no other villages to trade with. We have no other regions that we own, but we're still sitting in a positive region wealth, which is really good. I'm glad that's the case because once I build my manor, I want to start collecting those taxes so I can start hiring mercenaries first off, and second, I can collect tithes, which provide a passive increase to my influence. Tithes, you set a percentage of surplus food. I believe it's every month. If I'm not mistaken, every month it collects a tithe, the church does, and you gain influence that way. So that's definitely a major priority as well. Let's take a look at our field here. Let's get back in the not first person, excuse me, but into our third person view here, but up close. So our field is growing. It's growing wheat very well. We can hear this oxen over here chugging along. Looks like he's bringing, what is he bringing there? Yeah, he's bringing a log. Some of the details in this game are awesome. I really like how it's a wild field, first off. This is what it should look like. Yeah, the whole idea, this is for those of you that don't know, which hopefully is very little of you. But for those of you that don't know, the idea and concept of having a lawn being just completely green is, in a timescale sense, in reality, not very old. This is what yards used to look like. There was no pristine green field. It was a field of wildflowers, a field of tall grasses and random trees, etc. It was very much so like this, and there's something to be missed about something like this. I really would love to see more fields like this out and about. And I myself, personally speaking, I mow the lawn, whatever. But this year I've been trying the whole no mow May or whatever it's called. I'm doing it for my backyard, which, mind you, my backyard faces a forest. So there's no neighbors behind me. No one's going to see it. And honestly, it kind of fits with the natural look of the area. But I do have it growing pretty significantly, and I've got some wildflowers growing back there, and I'm hoping some pollinators will come in and keep residents for a little while. It's just something kind of help the area out, help the land. I will eventually clean it up as I should, but for now it looks pretty cool back there, to be quite honest. Anyway, that's not about the game, that's about me. How dare I? We are in August of year 2 here. As I've been showing you, the field's looking pretty good. The yield is really low, unfortunately. I'm not sure why. Very strange. Hopefully that changes. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, we got into the season late, unfortunately, but maybe it'll still work out for us. We're not in a pressing need of food, thankfully. We're actually doing really well on our food surplus, thanks to the berries, which have been absolutely critical. There's something about this little spot right here that's kind of messing with my frame rate. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I'm trying to see on OBS here what it looks like. Yeah, you can kind of see it. Very weird, but thanks to this berry and forager hut, we've been able to sustain our village and we've been able to grow. It's been a massive, massive benefit. All right, so what do we have left to do here? So we're still building up these places here. Let's speed up time here. I'm going to do maximum time. That should be more than enough for us. Did this one did get upgraded. Okay. So we want a joiner's workshop. That's for sure. And now let's build. Well, that's still working there. Still building that up as well. Let's see if we can make this the highest priority. Because now that we're going to be able to build a joiner shop, we want to get the armor going here as well. The tailor shop, I should say. Get those gambesons in. And then we can start making more. I mean, look at that. We're at 30 of 36 spears necessary. We just need the joiner shop for the shields. Then we have plenty of men for our first full militia. So close. Now let's try to see if we can place our manor here. We still don't have enough stone, so I guess I needed 15. Let's change this one more time here. Put that to 15. Notice that we have a whole ton of planks. We really need to sell these out, that's for sure. But thankfully, because we don't have a regular trade route, we're not over inundating the, or I guess just inundating would be the proper term, inundating the market with goods, thus reducing the cost of selling, or reducing the profit of selling those planks in mass. Looks like we have one more building to be built. We're getting more families in finally as well. Our approval rating is really high, which is great. 79% approval is fantastic. We're looking really good. Now, granted, we don't have the tier 2 church. We don't have a third form of food, which is normally going to be like bread. And you can see up here, bread, vegetables, eggs, apples, etc. And then the clothing, obviously, they're looking for shoes, clothes, or cloaks. So we'll be getting that done shortly as well. At the moment, we actually want tall shields. We don't want small shields. So we'll have that going. I'll turn up the speed again, and hopefully this will get built here shortly. And then it's just a matter of getting 2 more of these places upgraded here. And then we'll get our next point. In fact, I might as well just set them off now. And they should also start earning me taxes here once I build the manor. Am I able to place it just yet? No. So what's weird is I can't place, at least so far as I'm aware. Yeah, I can't place it, unfortunately. Because I don't have all the goods for it yet. Which that's okay. Alright, let's see. Let's pause here real quick to make sure I want to do the right thing here. So they can produce clothes, cloaks, and gambesons, and this one produces shoes. So yeah, let's do a tailor's workshop. Perfect. And then these 2 will be built, and we will get our next point here. Okay, so we have enough to plop down the manor. So where do I want to put this? Let's see. You know what? Why don't we just do this? We'll build it a little bit off. There we go. So right now, tax offices are cosmetic only, so there is actually no reason for me to plop that in there. However, I don't have enough for a garrison at the moment, a garrison tower. So we could just leave it like this for now. We can always go back, which is nice and easy. So we're just going to make sure that this looks like that. Perfect. And we have a whole bunch of planks, so we'll eventually be able to throw up a wall here. We can surround our little manor here with a wall. We'll do that eventually, but for now we're just going to let that build up. Everything should be good there. All these should be built and good to go. So they will focus on that. We are starting to make some shields, thankfully. In fact, they've already made 4, it looks like, which is really good. So yeah, things are on the up and up for us. We've almost got this last point. I'm really hoping for a bandit camp to spawn so we can go take it out real fast, but it's yet to be seen as of yet. So speed up time once more. We're gonna at least, if anything, we're gonna at least get to this last point so that we can focus on getting that armor out. So running out of fuel, which is not good. Are we? Yep, I know you don't have anything because there's nothing left. Have we exhausted our supply? Oh, we probably just don't have enough people cutting wood. All right, that's fine. We'll max out. I'm gonna try my best to leave just 1 person building unless it's absolutely necessary to have more. I'm gonna leave it to 1 person building at a time, see if that works out for us. But we have our final point here. So we're gonna just go ahead and do basic armor making. And we're going to build our armorer's workshop. And we're gonna build our first, where are we here? Do I want to do Fletcher's workshop? Yeah, we're gonna do Fletcher's workshop. So we'll have bows and arrows, helms. We have the tailor's workshop coming in as well. So we'll have gambesons. We have spears, tall shields. We're looking pretty good. We're definitely looking pretty good. Oh, there it is right there. We need that. I forgot, when you do this, you end up unfortunately taking away from your pool of assigned workers or unassigned workers, and then it becomes artisans, or, you know, they become assigned essentially. So I just kind of screwed up a little bit there. So I'm going to need to have one more person move in so I can get the woodcutters coming in too. But we'll see how that works out here. All right, folks, we have returned. So as you can see, I have a fancy little retinue now. One thing we need to go over here is our taxation. So right now we are not tithing, nor are we taxing. I'm going to tax at 10%, and I'm going to tithe at 15%. So 15% of all surplus food will be tithed over to the church. Land taxation will be at 10%. So I believe this is every month the amount of collected wealth from the region is put into my treasury as well, in terms of 10% of that. Right now, the only ones that I'm aware of that work are these top two. But once we start getting that money in, oh, look at that. I forgot we got some influence. Let's pause and make a claim. So do we want to try claiming Eichenau, or do we want to try claiming Immenroith? We would get a rich deposit of clay with Immenroith. And there's a rich deposit of wild animals and still a deposit of berries that we can draw off of as well. And some stone and some iron, though that's not necessarily imperative. Ooh, that zoomed in a little weird. If we go with Immenroith, how would we treat this city? So first off, let's check and see what the fertility is like around here. Ooh, that's not trying to do that. There we go. It's not very good. It really isn't. If we went with, what's this one called again? Eichenau? Yeah, Eichenau. If we went with Eichenau, we obviously know what we're getting into. A fantastic zone for growing crops. Problem is, we don't have. So there's two things. First thing, if I claim this region, I believe it'll allow battle to occur, which we will not survive. So we're gonna have to hope that our tax will bring us enough money in before he tries to claim Eichenau, because I'm pretty certain, like I said, I'm pretty certain he's gonna go for Eichenau next. And if we can get the taxation in to get mercenaries, then we'll be totally fine. We can just go for it and fight that battle. But I actually think this is a good place to stop. We've accomplished quite a bit, actually. Our village has grown dramatically versus when it was, you know, last time we had 10 people. We're now sitting at 25. We're maxed out. We need to build some more homes. We have our field up and going. Currently, it's on the fallow stage. It'll be growing wheat next season, but we grew some wheat. We have some grain going as well. We're sitting pretty good on that front. As you can see, there it is, 6 grain. We'll be getting more in there as well. We didn't get just 6 pieces of wheat, obviously. We have our spear maker, our shield maker, our helmet maker, our gambeson or tailor, and lastly, our Fletcher, and they are all trading their goods as well. We're exporting and keeping at least 12 each. Right now, it shows that we're definitely making helmets. The reason why you don't see them, though, is because they're going to our militia at the moment. The last thing I'm going to show you here, though, is the retinue customization screen. This is where I was talking about once I have more regional wealth, I'll be able to hire more first off, more retinue because I'll build the garrison, which adds 12 more to your retinue. So I'll be able to hire more retinue, and I'll be able to upgrade their armor as well. That'll make them very, very strong. But this is what they look like right now. I can customize them completely with their colors and everything like that. Really cool, but we'll go over that in the next video. This is kind of a little teaser. But yeah, I think we're sitting in a pretty good spot, guys. Our village is growing really well. We've been able to survive the winter. We got a surplus of food and everything, even though this is 0. That's the fuel. That'll pick up once we start getting more trees cut down here. We'll be okay, and that'll be okay. But yeah, we're doing pretty well, guys. So until the next time, I think this is a good place to stop. But yeah, if you guys haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button below. I'll be doing obviously more Manor Lords. We have big ambitions going. I'm also going to be doing a new playthrough of that here soon, doing offices only. And who knows, maybe I'll be throwing out a new game on Thursday. Still kind of debating on that one. But yeah, I'm still trying to bring back that schedule I had mentioned in the community post a couple days, or more than a couple days ago, like almost 10 days ago now, I think, something like that. But schedule's kind of hard when you also work a 40-hour-a-week job, so I'm trying to stick to it, guys. I know it's probably been kind of slow going, and I apologize. I'm really not trying to be flippant with anybody here. I really do want to keep making videos, obviously. But yeah, it's slightly harder when you have that job going on at the same time. So yeah, anyway, like I said, subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I'd really appreciate it. We're really, really close to 700, like super close. We keep floating. I've lost and gained subscribers over the last week, and it's just stayed around 698, 699. So hopefully we can reach that 700 hump and then on to that 1,000, of course. But yeah, give the video a thumbs up if you liked it as well. And I, of course, will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.